everybody, I'm Jasmine Ice. I'm the creator of A New Year, A New You, Embrace, Encourage, Empower, and that's the women's conference that's taking place March 1st, 2014 for women ages 13 to adults. So today I am here with the Cynthia Williams. She is actually the founder of Love From Afar, and she's going to be our keynote speaker for this year. So how are you today?
I'm good, Jasmine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. So we're just going to dive right in here, and I have my questions here, so I'm prepared. All right, so I would like for you to just tell us a little bit about Love From Afar and what inspired you to create that foundation.
Well, Love From Afar is a nonprofit organization that I started on behalf of my 17-year-old son, who was fatally killed in 2006 in a car crash. I couldn't just let his legacy be left at his death, so I wanted to take his name and let it linger on. So what I did was I had to love him from afar, and I know that a lot of other people who really loved him would now have to keep his love in their heart. And I couldn't think of any better way to name that organization than to say Love From Afar, because I have to keep him so close to my heart.
And it seems like you have had a lot of support in building this foundation, and I just want to know, did you ever experience any resistance or opposition when it came to building this thing from the ground up?
I did. You know, when you grassroots, you have to convince people that what you do is right. A little bit of it was resistance, but a lot of it was just people not wanting to say, hey, I don't want to put my phone down, right? It's if you lose a child to something that causes a car crash from a cell phone or speeding, it's something that people do every day. And so when you try to bring awareness to something that people comfortably do every day, you get pushback like, I really don't want to take your son's name and sign a pledge to say I won't speed and text and drive, because I speed and text and drive. And so I got resistance that way from the community, and then I got resistance from corporations in the community because it was so new. In 2006, it wasn't really as familiar as it is right now. We were just losing people to it, but as of now, 2014, we've lost thousands of people to distracted driving. So it's now people are getting like, oh, this makes sense, or oh, I don't want this to happen to me. I couldn't put myself in your shoes. So it's starting to come. It's starting to come, but it always hasn't been there.
And that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any women, strong women in your life or in the media that inspired you to keep going, whether personally or in this creating this foundation, or just in general?
Well, I've had some sort of support, for lack of better words. I didn't get a lot of support from my family, but I did get a lot of support from some community leaders. I've had one particular girlfriend who, I promise you, had it not been for her, my girlfriend named Nicole, she has been so there for me. Her and her husband, and she has a new baby now. This has been such the support system for me. During the time of the program, I didn't have a car, and they would pick me up and make sure I made every meeting. They would make sure I made every event. They would help me with the event. Now, mind you, I'm grassroots, so I'm the one stuffing the bags, making everything for the events. I'm doing everything. And I would, it would just be me, her, and her husband doing things. And I promise you, she is my #1 support team. And she would say, you can't quit. I'm like, I'm done. This is crazy. Nobody's listening to us. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to help. I'm done. She's like, well, you can't quit. So what we got to do next? I'm like, didn't you just hear me say I'm done? And she'll say, no, I don't even want to hear that. Let's just go. And so she's been my #1 support person. And then I had Tacoma Perry from the news. She came out and she was looking for a story a couple years ago, maybe 2010, 11. And she came out to interview me, and then she spoke at one of my events, and she herself was saying, you got to just keep going, don't stop. And she hadn't had a child at the time, and so she was amazingly pregnant during the time that she was interviewing me, and she was saying, I couldn't imagine ever losing a child. I just couldn't ever imagine that. And she said, being a new mother, that's a great thing that you're doing. So for someone who doesn't know you and are telling you to keep doing it, don't stop, that helps.
How do you manage all of this? Because I know you have a family, you have a full-time job, and this is a passion of yours. So how do you balance everything?
You know, it can get difficult at times, but I take everything in spurts. When I'm at work full-time, I'm at work. I give my time to my job. When I'm off work, I take some time and I deal with my family. Days that I'm off work where I can dedicate to the program, I take the time to dedicate to my program. I try not to overwhelm myself, because that's when I get my shutdown process. And I don't want to shut down. So I take it in spurts and I deal with it when I can. I try not to overexert myself in any way.
What advice would you give to women or young girls that have a passion, but they come up with every excuse in the world to not do that thing?
You know, for me, I was 35 years old when my son passed, and that's when I realized my purpose. Even though I had been a mother 17 years, he was my oldest son, that's when I realized my purpose. So what I had to understand is, if this is my passion, God has to have something to do with it. And I ask him before I do anything else, and I say, thank you. I don't know why you chose me for this, but let me do it. And if I have to do it, I do it for God, and I don't put myself in it at all. And when I remove myself totally for my mission, for this program, to help save others from this destructive decision making, I know that if I'm doing it for him, he's going to exalt it the way that it should, and it's going to unfold the way that it does. Stood on so many no's, we can't do it. No, we're not interested. I'm sorry, we'll call you back. Never call back. No return emails. And from people that I really consider close friends or close community partners. It's a ton of those that I didn't get responses for, and that would let me think my passion is not meant to be. But it's in my soul. And if it's in my soul, I know that I was supposed to do it, and that's when I realized my purpose. And once you know your purpose and you find out what it is, you gravitate towards it and make sure you do your best. And if you do your best, that's all you can do. That's it. You can't try to do over than your best, because your best is all you have.
So how can people find out more information about Love From Afar?
Well, we have a website. We're at www.lovefromafar.org, and you can email me at lovefromafar@gmail.com. My phone number is always open. I'll never change that number. It never changes. And it's 404-839-2035. Anyone can feel free to call me. They have any questions. They want to know what I do, why I do it, any answers, if they want to help me out, if they want to just have some counseling, whatever they want, my number's available, and I always answer.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. And you guys heard it here. This is Cynthia Williams with Love From Afar. And if you'd like more information about a new year, a new you, embrace, encourage, empower, please visit itsanewYou.eventbrite.com. And I hope to see you there. Bye.
Bye.